Welcome once again, digital literacy students. We are given a scenario. In this case, it's for those who are doing WHI1040 module. It says it's Excel project number 1 for them. A scenario says Rosie Reeves is an entrepreneurial middle school 12 to 15 age student who sells homemade lemonade from a stand at the park near her house. So promote her lemonade stand. She distributes leaflets in the park. Rosie records details of her sales and flyer leaflet distribution along with weather measurements including the temperature and rainfall each day. However, this scenario is very useless to what we're going to do. When the thing that you must do is to focus on the instructions given. You focus on the instruction given and you make changes, because if you can see the instructions says make changes on worksheet practice. Okay, let's check first. We are going to make changes on worksheet practice. We are going to make changes on sheet lemonade, and lastly we are going to make changes on sheet 1. So how I'm going to do this with you, I will first make this video for changes only on worksheet practice. The next video will be changes on worksheet lemonade, and the next one will be on changes on worksheet sheet 1. So make sure that you leave a comment, you like, you subscribe, so that you do not miss out to what we have to do. The first instruction of them all says all columns, we are going to make changes on all columns. Adjust all the widths of the columns when necessary so that the information is fully visible. That is instruction number 1. They gave you a tip. It says tip for adjusting all the column widths quickly. First, select the entire worksheet by clicking on the triangle. Number 2, double click on the vertical stripe found between the column letters. Okay, let's go to the worksheet. Make sure that you are in the correct worksheet. As you can see, these are our sheet tabs. We have sheet practice, sheet 1, lemonade. Okay, as you can see, the selected sheet as the right one where we are supposed to make changes on. It says we click on this triangle and double click on the vertical stripe found between the column letter. It doesn't matter which column letters, it doesn't really matter. As long as you can stand between any column letters and then you double tap, it will adjust the column weights so that the information is fully visible. And whenever you see an instruction where it says adjust the column so that the information is fully visible, or everything fits perfectly, that's what you're going to do. You're going to stand between the column that you are supposed to adjust and the next one following it, of which in this case, if they said adjust column B so that the information is clearly visible, you are going to stand between column B and column C. Right on this vertical stripe, that's where you are going to double tap. So if they said adjust a row, you are going to stand between the row that you are supposed to adjust and the one following it. If they said adjust row 1, you are going to stand between row 1 and row 2 to adjust the row height. So let's go to the next instruction and see what it says. They say adjust all the heights of the rows where necessary in this worksheet so that the information is fully visible. Okay, what I've been explaining. Now we are going to make changes for the entire spreadsheet, not just only row 1, not just row 2, but the entire worksheet. But in this case, we are going to adjust all the rows. So stand between the horizontal stripe that is found between the row numbers, and then you double tap. It doesn't really matter which, as long as those rows are selected, you are still safe. I'm going to double tap You can see that it has adjusted. Now you can fully see practice 2020 in cell A1, in cell J1, and in cell N1. Okay, now I can click anywhere to deselect the entire spreadsheet. So let me go to the next instruction. It says cells J1 and N1. I'm going to make changes on two cells. So I'm going to write the two cells in the name box by using a separator, of which in this case, my separator is a semicolon. But if you're going to write at the computer lab using those computers in the computer lab, you have to use a comma as a separator, because those computers, they use a comma as a separator. But in my case, the separator is a semicolon. Okay, let me go to the spreadsheet. It says clear the contents in these cells. So I'm going to go to the spreadsheet in the name box, type G1, use a separator N1. In your case, in the computer lab, you're going to use a comma to separate the two cells, then enter. You can see that it has selected J1, and at the same time, it has selected N1. Or maybe if you don't want to do it this way, if you don't want to do it this way, you can do it by selecting by pressing Control or holding Control while you select your cells. I used Control to select J1 and also used Control to select N1. And then on the Home tab, I'm going to go to the editing group. Click on this thing that looks like an eraser. And then you will see clear contents. Click on the drop down for more menu. There's clear all, clear formats, clear contents. Follow the instructions. So what does the instruction says? It says clear contents. And then in bracket, it shows you the shortcut for clearing contents, which is delete. You can simply press delete button on your keyboard to clear the contents. Okay, if they said clear formats, okay, it doesn't have a shortcut for it. Okay, clear contents. So we're going to clear contents. You can see that practice 2020 in J1 and N1 is no more there. Okay, let's go to the next instruction. The next instruction says type last name, first name, e.g. Abraham Sanjay. Adjust the column width so that the information is fully visible in cell B2, meaning that in cell B2 we are going to type your last name followed by your first name, and then after you adjust column B so that the information is fully visible. Okay, let's go to it. B2, my last name is Manyatela, comma, Mahlatse. I will hold Control and press Enter. Go to column B, select it. Between column B and C on the vertical stripe, I'm going to double tap so that it adjusts the column width. This is when they say adjust so that the information stored is clearly visible. Okay, without any further ado, let's go to the next instruction. In the next instruction, cell C2, it says type 16 August 2021. So I'm going to type 16 August 2021 in this cell. Okay, let's go to the next instruction. It says type sales. Adjust the column width so that the information is fully visible. The same thing that we did with column B, we are going to do it to column G. It says in cell G3, type sales. Adjust the column width so that the information is fully visible. Let's quickly go to this the sheet. Control Enter. Select column G. Between column G and column H, you double tap, and then you can see that it has adjusted the column. Okay, let's go to the next one. It says arrange A3 through G3. I'm going to type this range in the name box, but what is expected from us? We are going to copy contents from AJ through G3 across to A37 through G37 and A69 through G69. So the first thing, I'm going to type in the range A3 through G3 in the name box, enter. It selects the range. I will hold Control, press C to copy it, and then type in the range where I'm supposed to copy the contents too, of which in this case it will be A37 through G37. Use a separator for the next range, which is A69 through G69. Then press enter. It will select the two range, then Control V to paste. If you can see, it has copied the contents that was stored in A3 through A7. It has copied it in A37 through G37 and also in A69 through G69. Okay, we can now proceed to the next instruction. Okay, but first, before we proceed, I have to press escape to release the copy, whatever. So let's go to cell I3. It says use the autofill handle to copy content target cell range. Fill I3 through to I4 through I10. If you can check in cell J3, it says the same. Fill J3 through to J4 through to J10. Also in range K3 through K5, it says fill K3 through K5 through to K6 through K10. Fill L3 through to L4 through to L10. If you can check, there is consistency here. It's J10, K10, L10, M10. I will show you something. Excel will follow the pattern that we are supposed to follow. If I can use the fill handler, I will first select I3, sorry, I meant to say, and then use the fill handler, drag, click and drag until cell I10. But with J, I'm not going to drag and click and drag. I'm just going to double tap on the fill handler. It will follow this one. It will follow this one because the information that is stored in here is until I10, so it will follow until J10. So if you are given an instruction like that where they have to follow one another, just double tap on the next one. With this one, I'm firstly going to select this range K3 through K5, and then on the fill handle I'm going to double tap. It will stop at K10. With this one, I'm just going to double tap. The instructions are the same. With this one, I'm just going to double tap. And there you have it. There you have it. If you can check the instruction, it says fill J3 through to J4 through J10. Fill K3 through K5 through to K6 through K10. Fill L3 through to L4 through L10. Fill M3 through to M4 through M10. So that's how you do it. Check on the next video, because in the next video we are going to make changes on sheet lemonade, of which I believe things will get more intense, because that's where we are going to make use of functions. You can see we have user function to display the current system date, user function that explicitly uses cell range B4 through B30 to determine the total sale days for January. What were the total number of distributed flyers for January? Insert the function to display the answer to this question. Determine the total sales made for January by using a function. Use a function to display the total revenue generated for the month January. Determine the most distributed flyers for the month of February by using a function. Use a function that will display the lowest January rainfall. The average March temperature must be determined by using a function. Format the value to a number with 0 decimal places. Use a formula to show the total January revenue that was already calculated. You can see that mostly of changes that we are going to make on worksheet lemonade are on functions. So it is of paramount salience that you check on the next video, because that's where we are going to delve deep into this thing of digital literacy, and it is of paramount salience that you listen to what I have to offer very attentively, because it will come in handy when you are supposed to write an Excel test. And I believe it will help most of you. It will help most of you. So don't miss out. Like, leave a comment. Thank you.